Hi, Christian Bates here, author of Colic, colic.com for all the help I have for you and your baby. So I've been back in clinic for a week and had a load of new babies in. And even after 1 week, I've started to see a pattern, a bit of a characteristic of these babies that are coming in because they're lockdown babies. So a really interesting, not so nice, horrible time for mums that have had their baby in lockdown. So pretty much all of these mums have not had the father or the partner with them when they gave birth to the baby because they weren't allowed in. A couple actually got locked in hospital with the husband, but they weren't allowed out. And I've even had some mums who the husband had to just drop them off and then literally picked them up the next day or whenever after they've had their babies. Didn't even see them in between. So I'm sure lots of you out there have had that. So here's a bit of a characteristic I've seen. Lots of the babies are behaving a bit like a planned C-section baby. So if you've watched my other videos, I talk about these baby birth types, which I've invented out of just observation. So there's a C-section, like an emergency C-section baby birth type, a antibiotic baby birth type, a planned C-section baby birth type. And I go through all of those in the online course. But these babies, even if they weren't a planned C-section, they have this characteristic of a planned C-section baby birth type. And that is one that is quite jumpy, jittery, doesn't go to sleep, doesn't go in a deep, relaxed sleep. So you've got to hold them all the time. So you might be holding them at night. As soon as you go to put them down, they wake up. So they don't like being off you. You have to actively calm them. You've got to jiggle them, shush them. You've got to be standing. You've got to be moving around. So lots of babies are like this, but it's interesting that I've seen this pattern, like that basically every baby I've seen this week that is in this new has been like that. So, you know, when you've got 4 mums in a row who say, I have to hold my baby all the time, I can't put them down, they won't relax, you start to see patterns. And that's where loads of my advice have come is from seeing these patterns over 22 years of seeing babies. So it's just interesting to note that already in this week, I'm seeing these lockdown babies, and it popped into my head that they're shockdown babies. Bit of a rubbish joke there, but they're a little bit they're a bit traumatized by it, and I think it's that the deliveries that have happened have been quite a bit shocking to the mum. You know, they've been a bit of trauma there. They've had no one with them, and if they haven't gone to plan, things have happened quickly, and then, you know, you're in quickly, you're out quickly, and there's been no support there, and it's been such a shame. I just think it's a shame that even in lockdown they didn't have in place something to allow a dad or a family member to be there in this sort of this time for you. So what am I trying to get across to you? That if your baby sounds like this, jumpy, always got to be calmed, light sleeper, that is a characteristic that I've seen of these lockdown delivered babies. So don't worry about it too much. There's lots of babies out there, and there's ways of calming them. So what you want to be looking at is ways of calming. I always think the best way to calm your baby is almost when they're calm. So when they're kicking off and crying and you're flustered, it is hard to then for yourself to remain calm and then help calm them. Be better if you've got someone else there that you pass them to, but you might not. Hopefully partners there, but you're not going to have extended family around you. So when they're calm, hold them, cuddle them, get skin to skin, and pass that calming on them. So if you've watched my other videos or the online course in the calming your baby section, that's what you want to be doing even when they're calm. And if you've looked at some of the videos, I talk about this kind of special way of calming, which is the gentle stroking your baby. And I've seen that even this week in that the mums are holding the baby and jiggling. So holding like this, and you're doing all the rocking, the jiggling, which is great. But not many were actually doing the stroking. We were just holding and then doing the movements yourself, which is hard work. But this very slow, gentle, plus the soothing and the talking to your baby and the smiling and all this kind of stuff. But it's this stroking is actually a particular way of sparking off in the brain relaxation and calming and chemicals for love and relaxation. So do this nice stroking. So you want to be doing the calming, this calming on your baby. And if you can get out at some point, then I would highly recommend cranial sacral therapy, cranial osteopathy, someone who is specializes in treating babies, if you can find someone that does that. Okay, I hope this tip helps. Leave some comments if your baby sounds like this. If you have a Shockdown baby, then leave a comment, and let's see how many mums baby seems a bit like this, and let's see if I'm right. I might not be. Let's see. Thanks a lot. CalmingColic.com. Have a look for more help over there. Thanks.